Hey everybody, welcome back to Bones and Brews. So today we're going to make a smoked queso dip. This is a great dip to keep around the house for chips, if you're entertaining guests. Just a great overall dip. Now the variation we're going to make today is we're going to use chorizo in the dip. At home you might use ground beef or any other protein meat inside of there that you like, or a mixture thereof. So let's go ahead and get started. So I already started the day inside in the kitchen where I took my chorizo that I got from a local market. This is pork chorizo, and I've already browned it, so it's ready to go. And I'm just going to use a pan, and I'm going to place everything in the pan individually. So we'll start with that chorizo. I also went ahead and so I've got some chopped white onions. This is about a half of a larger white onion that I've chopped up. Next, we're going to start throwing in some other ingredients. So I've got 1 can of Rotel. I've drained the Rotel as well. And we're going to throw in some cream of mushroom. This is really going to help with that texture of that queso dip. Trust me, it's worth it. Alright, and since I was using that Rotel, I always like to add even more chilies to it, so I've got actually a small can of diced green chilies that I'm going to add to that as well. Alright, so now we can start throwing in the cheese products, or since we're using Velveeta, the variations thereof. So we're going to start with that Velveeta cheese. Now I've got the larger 32-ounce block of Velveeta here. We're not going to use this entire thing. Probably about half of it. Grab my knife. Go ahead and start slicing off some of that to pull out. All right. Put in there the half that I just sliced off. Alright, so that'll be ready to go. Go ahead and break that up a little bit more into smaller chunks. Alright, next I'm going to go and throw in some cream cheese. I'm going to go ahead and try to cut that up just a little bit as well. All right, so we're going to finish it off with a few more cheeses. So I've got some shredded Gouda. I've got a bag here, it's about 2 cups worth. I'm only going to use about half of this bag. Then I've got some shredded pepper jack. Same thing here, about half the bag. And last but not least, some shredded mozzarella. I might hope that my hands weren't so slippery. So behind me I've got the smoker going at about 275, a little warmer than I would use for some other things. And today I'm going to just use my Weber 22. Alright, so all these ingredients are now ready to go in the pan. I don't need to mix them up. That's going to happen later on the smoker once it starts to melt down. But what I am going to do, because we do like things a little spicier around my house, is I've got a lot of habaneros in my garden. I've been kind of dehydrating them and grinding them up a little bit. So I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of this ground habanero on there as well. All right. So That's all of our ingredients. You can see there. Got all our cheeses, the Rotel, the chorizo, the cream of mushroom, and we're ready to place this on the smoker. I don't need to cover it. All right, so that's gonna sit on the smoker. I'm gonna say probably about an hour, but you really just wanna keep an eye on it as you're making it, depending on how much you have in that pan, or if you double the size at home. Just really try to pay attention to it. Check on it every once in a while, and you're gonna stir it as well. So we're gonna let that cook a little bit. We're gonna come back and stir it here, probably about 15 to 20 minutes, and see what it looks like at that point. All right, here we are stirring up our queso mixture. And this has been on the smoker about 30 minutes. I'd already stirred it once a little bit earlier. Coming back to check it one more time. Consistency looks great. And because I was using that chorizo, you can see a little bit of that leftover grease from that chorizo in there, but that's just gonna be yummy goodness later. All right, it's time to pull the queso off the smoker, give it a taste test, and even taste the beer. Right, give it one last little stir here. Smells great. You can smell that chorizo. You can smell all the cheeses blended together, and those little bit of diced onions we placed in there to begin with. Smelling incredible. You guys can take a look at that as well. All right, let's give it a taste test. Delicious. But what's even better, it's time to wash it down with a beer. So today I'm going to have, from Columbia, Missouri, Logboat Brewing, their Yeah Buoy IPA. I just poured it beforehand, and so we're ready to drink it. Oh, that is delicious. Definitely going to hit the spot. We're going to take this queso inside, throw it on the table, let the kids and family enjoy it for a little bit. Until next time, we'll see you again on Bones and Brews. Remember to like this episode, share this episode, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks again.